I have 3 assumptions about you. 1, you are on the internet. 2, you have a phone. 3, you're on social media. And if these assumptions about you are true, then you are currently bearing witness and perhaps even participating in some of the fastest language divergent evolution experienced in living memory. Maybe it's the fact that you use the word lol for laugh out loud, or maybe you append the suffix core to denote an aesthetic category. Or maybe it's sticking out your gat for the Rizzler, you're so skibidi, you're so phantom tax, I just want to be your Sigma. This has 1.9 million likes on TikTok. Riz was the Oxford Word of the Year. Valid applications of this word include W-Riz, L-Riz, Unspoken Riz, and the Wizard of Oz. This one's from Depop, a clothing selling app. I can't go that low. I'm sorry, babe. Especially not with the Kazi lives and all that jazz. Kazi lives. Slang for cost of living crisis. Celebrity stan culture drives a lot of slang. She was a dual Ij Balinese and Heidi Gaffian studies at the Germanata School of Born This Wayology at NYU. Here's a question. What the hell are we saying? Would someone from just a few years ago be able to understand this? Is this linguistic evolution culminating in a digital Tower of Babel where understanding each other becomes impossible? Now, if you're not familiar with the tale of the Tower of Babel, it goes like this. Humans built a tower, reaching for the heavens, that offended God, and as punishment, he splintered all of humanity's language so that nobody could understand each other anymore. And what happens when nobody is able to understand one another? We can't build, we can't cooperate, we are divided. War. But hasn't change always been a facet of language? New technologies are adopted in our lives, and new language comes to adopt this new technology. If I say, last night was a movie, to mean that last night was so crazy, I must first live in a society that has invented the motion picture and access to electricity. So it's important to acknowledge the significance of our online lives, especially amongst the kids of today, who are the next generation of human beings. The kids of today, Generation Alpha, grow up and hang out online. It is Discord servers, Minecraft servers, Twitch streams, and group chats over sleepovers and hanging out at the mall. And when you grow up online, this fundamentally shapes your basis for relationships and reality. So our language is fragmenting. What do we do about it? Our solution is grounded in physical reality. We need to touch each other. Body language is all that is unspoken. When I'm having a face-to-face conversation with you, it's not just about the words that I'm saying, but it's about the language of my body. That's my tone, that's my expression, that's my vibes. Human beings are mammals, and we are physiologically hardwired to understand body language. A gentle touch on the arm means something vastly different from an urgent squeeze. And an awkward silence conveys more than words ever could. A sentence delivered flatly versus enthusiastically means a world of difference. Now, all of this wordlessness is, in fact, the glue of two-way conversation, which we completely lose in online contexts because more often than not, we cannot even see the person that we are talking to online, and all of this context is lost. Shortlisted on the Oxford Word of the Year is parasocial, designating a one-sided, unreciprocated relationship in which a viewer, fan, or follower of a well-known media celebrity or prominent figure comes to falsely believe that they know this figure as a friend. This is a sign of the times. Hyperbolic, context-less, mass online communication adrift from the humanizing presence of other people. When other people are faceless, anons, and not real, actual human beings, we can say terrible, cruel, even nonsensical things to them with little to no consequence. Our society is divided. We're angry with each other. We fight online, and this conflict is so deep, we are calling this a culture war. To understand why this is, we have to take a look at the central entity of an online feed, the algorithm. To keep our eyeballs on screens, we are served content that is extreme. And the more that we react and interact with this type of content, the more we are served this same type of content. So polarization is not just incentivized, it is self-sustaining. We are being funneled into our algorithmic digital islands. When Charles Darwin, father of evolutionary biology, sailed to the Galapagos Islands, he noticed the birds, the finches of this island. Although they all evolved from a common ancestor, some of these birds had large seed-crushing bills, while others had sharp, insect-probing beaks. They were all adapted to their specific environments. And just like the finches, our online language is adapting on their specific digital islands for their environments, for their niches. Which is how you get memes like this. So how do you signal, I am one of you, to someone who cannot even see you? Language is not just about what you're saying, but the type of person that you are for using the type of language that you are using. Like a punk in the 80s might signal with fashion, the way that we signal with language comes from layers of cultural anthropology. Slang, in-jokes, memes are purposefully exclusionary. They make you feel like you are part of an in-group when you use this language. But this same fact is the source of conflict and misunderstanding, because two people on their separate digital islands can assign different meanings, different archetypes to the same word. And when they encounter one another online, they can talk right past each other, arguing passionately, unaware that their linguistic clash comes from the diverse online realities that they inhabit. In his essay, "The Medium is the Message," Professor Marshall McLuhan, whose work is a cornerstone of media studies, states that the method of how something is delivered to you is more worthy of sociological study than what is being delivered to you. Take a journey that once would have taken 3 days on horseback, which takes 8 hours on train and 1 hour on plane. When people, supplies, and industry are moved faster and faster, this is what fundamentally changes the shape of our societies. Today, all of us have a screen in our pockets which instantly transports light and information. Observe how this has changed our societies and observe how this has changed us. In one of the editions of Marshall McLuhan's essay, there was a misprint. The medium is the message, misprinted into the medium is the massage. McLuhan liked it so much that he kept it because it makes a pun. The medium is the mass age. And within this misprint, there's another pun, physical touch. In our online worlds, the opposite, the remedy is physical touch, that which can communicate intention without words. Therefore, physical touch has the power of being telepathic. When someone is feeling sad, they might not want you to say anything to them. They might want you to physically be there for them. A hug, a shoulder to cry on, a listening ear. Magically, this can make someone feel more loved, more secure, and more cared for. It is this sharing and witnessing of wordless physical reality which binds us together. One night, I was feeling particularly upset. I was at a dinner party and I asked my friends if they could lie down on top of me and be my weighted blanket. And as I felt their weight on me, panini pressing the anxiety out of me, I felt like I could be honest, and it was a great, great relief. This all brought us closer together. When I'm with a group of people and I notice that we are awkwardly standing in a circle, not really touching each other, I ask the group, can we take 2 steps in? And we huddle. And then I'll ask, can we touch foreheads? This makes us fonder for one another. Because arguing with strangers online is a waste of time. It seldom, if ever, changes anything. And right now, our world needs us to change and to build things together in order to mitigate disaster. The only way that we can do that is by working together with people who already share our vision for the future. Instead of trying to prove someone that you disagree with wrong, connect with people who you think are right. Touch has that power. It is primal within us, among us right now, in the midst of a loneliness epidemic, in the midst of a culture war. Making oneself vulnerable is radical and essential. Touch invites us to be sensitive to how we use and receive sensation in order to communicate. One must be cognizant never to abuse this power, but to use it as a form of care and protection. And if physical massage is not always feasible for you, consider how you can make your online interactions more personable. You can FaceTime someone instead of texting them. You can phone call someone instead of DMing them. We can all find ways to tap into our shared humanity. Because as much as a political, social, and cultural environment will have you believe otherwise, the best, the very best of humanity comes through in our ability to be generous with one another. We have so much to share, and we are more alike than we are different. We need the internet. We need our phones. We need social media. And yet, physicality remains essential if we ever hope to bridge this cultural chasm widening with every tap, click, and swipe. So let's make touch an intentional, careful practice. And let's be human together.